So welcome to Saving and Sharing with OneDrive. My name is Rafael Tirado, and I'm going to be conducting this workshop. So let me start with the learning objective for today. In today's class, you're going to learn to save files using OneDrive by uploading files, and we're gonna do that using the online interface of OneDrive. I'm gonna show you also how to save slash upload files using Windows Office Desktop and also using Windows Office. I'm sorry, Microsoft Office 365, the online version. Then after we upload the files, I'm gonna show you how to share those files. So in case you want to make those files available to other members of your team, you're gonna see how easy it is to save those to share those files. Okay. So once again, it's gonna be just uploading files, putting files up there on OneDrive, and as we do so, then I'm gonna show you how to become more familiar with this great interface, OneDrive. Okay, and then after we upload the files, then I'm gonna show you ways to share those files with your team members. Okay, so that's the plan for today. Now, before I get into opening the applications and working the details, so just make sure everybody knows what is OneDrive, right? So OneDrive, we use it at the MTA as our Microsoft Cloud storage service that lets you store files in one place, share them with others, and get to them from any device connected to the internet. Okay, so that's that's to me is the the greatest advantage of OneDrive. I wasn't a fan of the application before. Now I cannot live without OneDrive because all my files have been placed in them or and in the OneDrive repository because it is so easy to access them from anywhere you are, anywhere in the world, anywhere you have internet access. Of course, there's a little bit added to it. Yes, you need to have internet access, but you also have to have your cell phone with you. So I learned this the hard way. I was overseas on vacation and I said, oh, I'm going to get to my files. And yes, I log into the interface. I put my username and password, but then I have to be validated with my with the dual authentication, right? Yeah, lucky I have my cell phone with me, and I did have um, uh, connection. I have a cell phone service where I was at, so I was able to do the validation. But just keep that in mind. Yes, as long as you have internet access, but then you're gonna have to also do the dual validation. All right. So let me go back here, and once again, looking at the objective, I said the first thing we're going to do is we're going to upload files to OneDrive. All right. So how do we do that? There are different ways. Okay. I put three different ways over here, maybe even more than that as we do the workshop, depending on how much time we have. But let me start by doing the first way that I'm going to show you how to upload files on OneDrive will be by simply opening a browser on your computer. So I'm going to pick here Microsoft Edge. And then after I open my browser, I'm gonna type over here on the address bar. I'm gonna type. There are different sites that let you get to your OneDrive, right? The one that I always use, I guess because it's easier to remember to me, is just to type office.com. So once you type office.com, then you're gonna you're gonna log in, of course, right? And let me just click over there now because I'm using Microsoft Edge and I'm using in an MTA computer. And I was recently on the site. You notice that they didn't ask me for the dual validation, but otherwise I will have to do that validation on the cell phone. But anyways, once you get to office.com, right? Once you are in the site, then what you have to do is just look for the application. It may show right here on the left side, right? So, but right now I'm only seeing Outlook, Teams, Word, and Excel. So what I need to do is I need to go up to the menu, the what they call the waffle menu, this menu over here, and then it's going to this one is going to expand, and then you're going to see all the applications that you have access to with your MTA account. So OneDrive should be in there. Okay, if you don't see it, then you may have to scroll down here, or sometimes you may even have to go to all apps, and once you click on all apps, then each and every one of the applications that you have access to will show on this list. And as you scroll, you're going to find OneDrive somewhere on your list. So I'm going to click on OneDrive. I'm going to open the user interface. And once I do so, now you're looking at the files that I have on my OneDrive account. Okay. So as I was saying before, I've been using this application uh, very often, like almost every day. So that's why I have a large collection of folders over here. Okay. I've been using it even more now since the pandemic. So you're going to see a lot of 2002, 2001 folders, but even back to 2019. I believe in 2018, I really got into using these applications. So you're looking at all the folders that I have on my accounts. You may notice that some of these folders over here, the one that I use the most, I named them starting with either the @ or the underscore. And the reason I did that is because I want to push them up on the list, because the list is always going to be sorted by name. Of course, you have the option to sort it by modified day, by who modified the folder, the size, and so on. But most of the time, you probably want to have them sorted by name. So that's why I've been adding these additional characters over here. Okay, so a little bit about the interface over here before we start with the uploading, right? So initially, you're going to be looking at what they call My Files folder. So My Files location is like the main folder, the root folder, we call it sometimes too, right? So within that My Files folder, you see how I create different folders, and I have a bunch of files. Look up, the folders will be presented first, just the same way you see it on Windows Explorer, right? Then you're gonna look at the files, and yeah, every time that I teach this class, I say that I should organize, because it's not a good idea to have all these files spread all over the My Files location. So at some point, I should really get the time to organize them, and rather put them inside the folders as you see over here, right? So it will make it easier for you to organize your information and to retrieve it, get it whenever you need to, right? So for instance, if I show you, this is a folder that I created just to keep track of the files that I need when I'm teaching here an in-person class of 130 Livingston. So if I open this folder, let me just do one click. That's another thing that I like about the online interface. It's only one click. If I was using Windows Explorer, remember you have to do a double click. But here, just one click opens the folder. And now inside that folder, the in-person classes at 130 Livingston, then I have the subfolders. I have my Access, and I have the Access Basic, Advanced, and Intermediate. So just about organizing your information. So also every time that I teach a class, I will start with the date of the class, and then once I open the folder, I will see all the files that I use for the class, or if I send an email, I will find the information in there. Okay, so just a little bit about the navigation. Once you start going inside subfolders, just so you know, over here you have this path that you can use to go back to the previous folder. So if I want to go into another Access Basic that I taught on a different day, I just go back with this option over here. Okay, and oops, I not I wasn't looking at the chat. I'm sorry. I used to upload images from mobile device, which make it easy. Oh, I got this. Okay. Somebody was saying in the chat, I used to upload images from my mobile device, which makes it easier to download, and that is true, Daniel. Also, just to mention, if you have if you have the app on your cell phone, on your tablet, they can also easily go there and navigate and use and download your files, and it's very, very convenient. So going back over here, if I want to go back all the way back to my files, I just simply click there, right? And well, I didn't point with the mouse what I was going to. Sorry, let me just go back. But I meant to say that I can click right here on my files. I can do that by clicking on this option over here, or I can always go back right here to the shortcut that I have on the left side window. So going back to my files, I get back to the main location. And good afternoon, Alice. All right, so there's another shortcut that I wanna, or another link rather, that I wanna point over here, the recent, and this is gonna be important uh, later on, especially if you just uploaded some files, you still haven't organized them well, you're looking for a file that you recently uploaded, you can go just there to recent, and then they will show on this list. Okay. Likewise, you have the shared option over here, and I like this because when I later show you how to share a file, the process of sharing the file involves sending an email to the person who is going to get access to the file, right? But sometimes we forget about those emails where we place them. So you can always come to this shared link over here, and then you can easily find those documents that have been shared with you without you having to go and look for the original email. All right. There's some other links over here. We get the time, we'll go into those. But let me go back to my files, okay? Because now we're going to go with the upload process. So how do you upload? How do you save a file into your OneDrive? So here is the first way that I'm going to show you. So you see the upload option there. You can do, you can just click over there and select whether you are uploading a file or a folder. So let's start with the files process first. So let me just click on files. And then once you click on files, then of course you're going to be able to navigate the device where you're doing this. Uh, Once again, whether it is your laptop, PC, or your tablet, you do the navigation over here as I'm going to do. I'm going to open this shortcut over here for my PC. Now, on my PC, of course, I go over to the C drive. Now, because I'm on a transit computer, I also have access over here to my share location on MTA servers, right? So remember, this is a way we used to share information before. This is a way we used to save our data on the MTA servers, right? So MTAIT will create these locations. They will map, or they will associate it with one of these letters, right? So every time that you wanted to save something on your share drive, you will go to one of these letters over here. So I'm going to do kind of like the opposite now. I'm going to navigate to one of these share drive. I'm going to click on my H drive, and then I'm going to open this folder that I created within my share. I call it backup, right? So within the backup folder, I'm going to double click, and I'm going to navigate my files in here. I'm going to go all the way down and look for this folder called workshops. So once I open workshops, I got some files over here from my Excel workshop that I would like to upload to OneDrive so I can access them from anywhere. So once I get there, I'm going to open the folder called macros with VBA. So I'm going to open this folder. I'm going to do a double click, and then I go over to data files. And you see how I like to organize my data, right? It's one folder after another, but then that way, to me, it makes it easier for me to locate my information when I need to. All right. So let's say that the two files that I'm going to pick will be the employee sales and the sale forecast. So this our exercise files. I want to have them now on OneDrive. Now, I just need to click on the file, okay? And those shortcuts that we are familiar with, right? Like holding the control key, because these files are not consecutive, I can hold the control key and now have two files selected, right? You're probably familiar also with the shift key, right? If I hold the shift key after I have selected one file, so let me go back to employee self. Now, instead of control, I hold the shift key and I click on cell forecast, then all these files will be selected. Okay, so with shift, you select the range from the first all the way to the last file that you click on. With control, you can select files that are not consecutive, right? And that's what I wanted to do for this, because I just wanted the employee and the cell forecast. So I'm gonna hold the control key down. I got the two files selected, and then I'm gonna click on open. Okay, and now by doing that, my two files, you can see up here, there was an uploading message over there that came, for a few seconds, but now they are telling me that these files were uploaded. Oh, this is interesting. I guess I was practicing before the class and I have already uploaded the cell forecast. So because the file is already on my OneDrive, I got the choices over here. You want to replace it, you want to keep the two of them. If I go with keep them both, then this file will be renamed. We'll probably add a number one or a copy extension somewhere so I can keep the two of them. But I'm going to replace, and I will have now the employee and the self forecast right here on my OneDrive. Okay. And now I can browse through my files, okay, and the two of them will show right there. Because again, the employee was a replace, right? But you see how they were at the top, okay? And now that the screen refreshed, I will have to go down and look for those two files, okay? So remember, employee, one of them, and because the file was just recently uploaded, then it will show also this mark over here, these three blue lines over there indicating that the file has been uploaded within the last 24 days. Okay, so that will make it easier, I guess, for you to identify those new files that you just have uploaded. So employee sales is one, all right, and then the other one was the sales forecast file that you see over here, also marked with these three blue lines over there. So that's basically the process of uploading files, right? One of the ways we have to upload a file, right? Any questions about this? I guess that's pretty simple. No questions in the chat. So let me move on. So as I was saying before, may not be a good idea to have all these files spread all over your My Files location, right? So in reality, if I doing this exercise, what I will do if I really need those files, what I will do is I will probably create a folder, and then I will navigate to the folder, and I will start the upload within that folder. So once I upload the folder, then the folder will be placed uh, right where I need them, what I want them to be. Okay, so let me show you that before we do a new upload. So let me now go over to the new button over here. Manuel has a question. Manuel, let me see if I can unmute you. Yeah, so you can ask your question. You are unmuted now, Manuel. Or you can put it in the chat either way. Manuel, if you have a microphone, you can ask your question now. Okay, not a problem. Question is, can I create a shortcut to the shared drive where I save my files? Interesting question. And I guess you want to create the shortcut on your desktop, on your computer, right? I mean, you don't mean to create a shortcut inside OneDrive, but rather probably in on the desktop or a location that you can navigate on your computer. That's an interesting question. I believe you should be able to. What I will do is I will copy the link instead of my desktop. I like to know if I can save it to OneDrive. Ah, interesting. What would you like to? Oh, so with one folder in OneDrive, you want to have a pointer to the location, like uh, I guess I guess you want something like create a folder with shortcuts to your files, but you want to have the folder within OneDrive. That way, if I go to different terminals and use a PC for the first time, I can access my files. That way, if I go to different terminals and use a PC for the first time, I can access my files. Okay. Um, yes, I simply by opening the OneDrive. Okay, so you probably missed the first part of the class manual, because if you're gonna be going to different terminals, you're gonna be using different computers. In reality, what you need to do is just simply open a browser, right? On you know, open any browser, just open a tab, and then go to office.com. Once you go to office.com, right, and then you open and once you log in, right, the OneDrive application is going to be listed right there, so you can, that way you can get to your file. You could also, once you log into the workstation, you can call the OneDrive application. So if you're using Windows, you can just type OneDrive, right? And because you log in with your credentials, then you can open the app. And basically, if the app has never been opened on that computer, there may be a little configuration you have to do that. But once you go through it, then you can simply get to your OneDrive file just by, as I show you over here, typing OneDrive, or there will also be an icon. I don't know if you guys, let me see on my other computer. Yeah, you guys can see right here, there's an icon that is going to be placed right here on the taskbar, and you can click on that icon, and that will take you straight to your OneDrive right there on Windows. Okay. Now, I mean, additionally, you could put a shortcut to this. You can create a shortcut and leave it on the desktop. So, every time that you log into that particular workstation, you can simply go to the OneDrive. So, I guess that will be an option for you, Manuel. Okay. All right. All right. Very good. All right. So let's move on over here. So the next upload that I was going to do now, instead of uploading a file, I'm going to upload a folder, right? But remember what I was saying, I don't like to upload files to the my files location, because there's a lot of scrolling that I need to do here to locate my files. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new folder. Okay, and again, I'm going to call this folder, let me call it OneDrive class. Okay, so I know I can delete this after the class, but let me just call it OneDrive class. Once again, the reason for the @ sign over here is so this folder will be listed over here at the top of my list. Okay, so now that I have the OneDrive class folder that I like to use for today's class, I can click, I open the folder, and then my next upload is going to be on this folder. All right, so I'm going to go again to upload. All right, this time around, instead of going with files, I'm going to select folder. Okay, so you see that you can select, you can upload the entire content of a folder, and if there are subfolders in that folder, then everything will be uploaded at once. So let me navigate back to my Excel collection of workshops over here. So now let's say that I want to upload the entire content of the, let me pick now the Excel VBA class. Okay, so I go there and I select the folder and I simply click on upload. Okay, now when I'm using this method, when I'm using this upload method from here, I cannot select multiple folders, right? So what I did before with files, meaning holding the control key and selecting another folder, I will not be able to do it when I'm using this method. There are other ways to select multiple folders and upload them at once, right? But just so you know, don't uh, don't think that holding control over here is going to let you select multiple folders. Okay, so if you're going to do the upload this way, it's only one folder at a time. So let me pick the Excel VBA. Of course, the subfolders will be uploaded, but what I mean is you cannot do a multiple selection in here. All right, so let me click on upload, and now there are 22 folders inside the folder that I selected. So let me just click on upload and let those files go up to my OneDrive class. Okay, so it may take a little bit longer to upload because of the size, but eventually I'm going to be able, see, they already finished, so I'm going to be able to click on the folder and then see the subfolders and the file. If I go to data files, I can see how much I like to create folders and subfolders all the time, but eventually I get to my destination. Okay, so once again, that's process number one. You use the interface over here, and the upload choice is to either upload a file or a folder, right? Now, remember I was saying there is, I don't like the fact that I cannot select more than one folder. So if that is the case, you're going to be selecting multiple folders, then I'll show you a way to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this window over to the side. I'm going to put it right here on the left side. And I'm going to bring now a Windows Explorer. Let me pick this one over here. Okay, and again, this is pointing to the same location just because I was there before the class. But otherwise, you do your navigation like going to the H drive, going to the backup folder, going to workshops, and going to Excel. Once you get to the location where you have the folders that you want to upload, okay, now because I'm using a Windows Explorer window over here, I can select multiple folders by using the control key. So let's say that now I want to upload the working with arrays and the scenarios and goal seeking, right? I make my selection and I'm allowed to drag and drop. Okay, so I can drag this and drop it on the OneDrive window. Of course, first I'm going to make sure that I'm at the folder where I want to bring these folders to. So I'm going to get all the way back to OneDrive class. I'm going to do the click here, and then I'm going to go back to my Windows Explorer, and then I drag and drop, and the two folders will go to my OneDrive class. And I have another question here. When you upload a folder and make changes outside of OneDrive, H drive, will the changes transfer automatically to OneDrive? Wow, that's a very good question. Unfortunately, not. They are, especially those share folders at the MTA, right? So they're really two different locations. And what I did there is I just brought a couple of folders, but there is no synchronizing between OneDrive and the H drive. If I needed to I mean, if you want to have some way of synchronizing, right? I will first move my file from the H drive. I will put it on OneDrive, and then what I'll do is I will open the OneDrive application, like you saw me doing it before, right? You can do this. I would like to say that you can do this at home, but I'm not so sure that, MTIT is going to let you synchronize that way at home. But I know right here in transit, when I go to OneDrive, when I open the app, and then the app sits right here on the taskbar, I can go and open it there, and I can indicate how I want to, where I want to synchronize my folders from. Let me see. It's not opening now, maybe because I have some other windows. Let me just minimize everything here for 1 second. All right, so my computer is not responding right now. Okay, but what I was going to say is if you move those files from the H drive over to OneDrive, right? And then you open the application as you saw me doing over there. I want to show you over here. Uh, of course, it's not responding now. Give me just 1 second here. I have my OneDrive on my desktop folder. Do those changes transfer over to the? Okay, yeah. So if you already have it, Nancy, you already have it as I do over here, right? Then the answer is yes. Okay. So see the folder that I just created for the class, right? OneDrive class. Yep, that is on my Windows Explorer, right? And yes, I like to do that too, Nancy, because I guess I'm old school. I'm used to my Windows Explorer, right? So I'd rather just open Windows Explorer, go up to OneDrive, navigate my folders over here instead of going to the web, right? And going to Office and Access, Okay, so Nancy's old school too. All right. So that's the answer to your question there. So let me just continue over here. So once again, I was saying when you put these windows side by side, right? When you put the OneDrive interface on the left, and then you have your Windows Explorer on the right, yes, you are able to drag and drop, and then you're also able to select multiple folders to drag and drop over to OneDrive. Okay, so let me get back to OneDrive now, and before I move on to show you another way to upload files, what I like to do is I like to return to my files collection over here. So once again, you can upload files, you can upload folders, right? So let me show you another way to upload files to OneDrive, okay? And this comes from this application called Power Automate. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but I mean, this is this is very advanced, I would say, but I love this Power Automate application. So basically what it does is it creates workflows between Office applications, right? So they talk to each other, and then a workflow that you could create, and they are like automated, most of them. You can invest a little bit of time learning this and then create your own, but you can just use the template that has been created. So one that I like to use that is already active on my account is a flow between Outlook and OneDrive. Okay, and what happens when you activate this flow is that from that moment on, every email that you receive that has an attachment, the attachment will be automatically saved to OneDrive. Okay, so that's why I said this is another way to upload files to OneDrive, right? This application is going to be doing it for you. Okay, but let me say once again, once you activate this particular flow, I'm going to show you how to do it. Then once you have it active, every email that you receive that contains an attachment, then the attachment it won't be moved. A copy of the attachment will be placed on OneDrive. And then you can always go back to OneDrive, look at the folder. So as a matter of fact, I said that I already enabled it, right? So that's why on my list of folders over here, you will see that I have a folder there called email attachment from Flow. If I open this folder, if I show you the content of it, right, these are files that were automatically uploaded to my OneDrive every time that I received an email with an attachment. As a matter of fact, if I do a sort over here by the time they were modified, look, 2 hours ago, I guess I sent myself an email or I received an email with this document, and now the document is stored right there. Okay. Now, how do you get to activate this flow? So very simple. You go to up. Let me just go back to my files. You go to automate. You go to Power Automate. You go to create a flow. And then right here, because I already have some flows that I created in the past, give me that option to see them. But let me just go here where it says show more templates, because you really want to use the templates. All right, see the templates. And now I'm going to get a list over here of different templates that you can use. And the first one that comes over here is the one that I was describing. So save Office 365 email attachments to OneDrive for Business. So if you click here, there's a little description over here of what's going to happen. Then at the end, you just need to click on Create Flow. And there may be some permissions that you have to allow there. But once you go through the process, then again, your emails with attachments, then the attachments will be placed right there on your OneDrive repository. So just wanted to mention that, because again, it's another way you have to upload files to OneDrive. All right. Now, let me show you another way that you have to upload files to OneDrive. So that will come from when you are using applications, right? When you're using Excel, Word, etc., you can save your files directly on OneDrive. So let me just demo that process. So let me open up Excel over here. I'm gonna open the application. I'm gonna get a new document, and then I'm gonna do some put some numbers over here. So let me use this function called rand between. So this is just Excel. This is just me showing off over here what I can do in Excel. So I wanna put some random numbers between, let's say, 35,000, 90,000. Okay, so it's a great day to create data. If I finish with the enter key, then only one number will go into A2. But if I finish with control enter, then all the cells that were highlighted will now receive a random number between these two numbers. But anyway, that's not what I what I meant to show you over here. What I want you to see is that working on Excel, when you are about to save a document, so I'm going to go up to the save icon over here. Okay. I can name this file, and you see how now Excel and Office applications default to your location in OneDrive. Okay, so I could just click save over here, and then the file will be uploaded, will be saved on my OneDrive. I don't like to just click save, because then the document will be saved on the documents location, on the my files location, the root location. And remember, I have so many files in there. My file will get lost. I wanna be able to select the folder where I wanna place that file. So what I do is I click on more options. All right, so now I got the save as option over here. I can click on OneDrive, and now I will be able to navigate my folders. Okay, and while I'm doing this, just so you know, you can also save files directly to SharePoint. So if you have been using Teams, or these applications that create groups, right? Like over here, I have a computer training group that was created because I created a team with Microsoft Teams, right? So if I wanted to save my file in SharePoint, I could do that navigation. But today we're doing OneDrive, so let me go back to OneDrive, and now you notice I'll be able to navigate to the folder I just recently created. So I can open the folder, right? And once I get to the location, I can put my file on. I'll just simply name my file. So let's call this plain with numbers. All right. So now I click save, and the file is now saved on my OneDrive at the OneDrive class folder that I created. All right. So let me click save, and that's process number 2. Okay. So once again, you can go straight to Office, open the app, and then use the upload as we did before, or you can go to an Office application, and once you're finished with the file you're working on, then you save it, and then you have the option to save it to OneDrive. Now, if you like to use Office on the web, you don't like you don't have the desktop version. Maybe that you are on a tablet, you didn't have the time to download the app for the tablet, or even on your cell phone, you just navigate to Office as we did before, right? And then you have your applications right here on the side, right? So I could go to Excel and use, you know what, let me use Word rather than Excel now. So let me pick Word, okay? And then again, blank document, and I'm working with a new document. So I'm not using the desktop. I'm just using Word online on the web, right? So let me also do some quick typing over here. I have this memo. It's great for just creating content over here. So if I was to type equals rand, the number 5 indicates that I want 5 paragraphs, and the number 3 indicates that I want 3 lines within every paragraph. So once I hit the enter key over here, then the 5 paragraph will be created. I got lines and so on. But once again, the point over here is that I want to show you how to save this file in OneDrive. Okay, and this is even more interesting because you don't have to do anything to save the file on OneDrive. As soon as you create a file using Office on the web, then the file is automatically saved on your OneDrive folder. Okay, now what name was given to the file? It always get a generic name. So you see over here, this file is called document, right? I didn't get a chance to name my file, but rather OneDrive will automatically give it a name and save it on the main location. Again, the location that I don't like so much, right? So how do I change the name? How do I put this file in the folder that I want to put it on? Very simple. You just go up there and click where you see a document, and now you have the chance to rename your file and also to move it to another location. So let me first rename it over here. Let's call this practicing Word, and then I could go straight here and start moving it, right? But I'm just gonna hit the enter key so you see the change right there, practice Word. So that's a new name. So that takes care of giving the name you want to the file. Now, as far as moving the file to another folder, you have to go back there, and now you do your navigation over here, because once again, you notice the file went right there to the main root, to the main folder of your OneDrive location. So what you want to do now is you want to click here on this arrow, and you're going to navigate the different folders on your OneDrive. So once again, the folder that I just created for the class, I'm going to open it. Okay, and if it is the case that right here you need to create another folder, right, before you move the file, you have the option right there to create a new folder. So yes, so you know that. But I'm just going to leave it here. So I'm going to click on move here. Okay, and that's again where you have to create and move the folder, the file to that folder. Different questions. If I share a folder on OneDrive, will the person always be able to see any updates that I put in that folder? Yes. Also, does the sharing access has an expiration? No. Basically, what you do, Nancy, is when you want to stop sharing the file, you go back there and say stop sharing. hmm And you have also, you also have different options over there. We're going to be doing this in a few minutes, right? Because you can determine if you're going to share, if you're going to give permission to edit or just to view the contents of the folder or the file. So yeah, that will be the next exercise. All right, so this takes care of uploading, saving files on OneDrive. So now that you have those files on OneDrive, then of course you wanna start sharing then with your coworkers. So in order to do that, again, of course, you have different options, right? If I wanted to share this file and I'm working right here on the Word on the web, you see the option right there to share your file. Okay, this is what I like. This is what I really like about OneDrive. Before we had OneDrive, right? If you wanted to share a file, you have to open a ticket. You have to contact MTA IT. They will have to create one of those folders, like on the like the H folder that you saw before, and not only create a folder, but you have to tell them which team members you were given permission and what type of permissions, right? And if a new member joined the team, then you have to open another ticket, and you only have to go back and forth with IT. Now you have full control of the files and who you want to share them with. So if I just go to share, okay, and I click on share, now I can type over here. Let me just use one of the computers that I have right here on the room. So I'm going to share this with this user Win19, right? After I put the email of the person, then I can decide whether I want the user to be able to edit or just review. The ones who, if you give review permission, they can only make suggestions, okay? Or they can only view, then they cannot make suggestions, and of course they cannot edit. They can only see the document, right? So these are the three permissions that you can specify over here. I'm gonna go with just can view, all right? And then if I want to, I will also send an email. Okay. Most likely, of course, you wanna send an email so you can notify the user that, hey, I'm sharing this file with you. Go and look at the file. So I'm gonna click over here, send. All right. And then Win19 will get an email. And then now Win19 knows that on this email, he contains a link to go and open the file. Okay. And you remember me saying before, the thing about that I don't like so much when somebody shares a file with me is I gotta go and look for the email, right? But remember, I also mentioned that on OneDrive you have this link over here on the left, the share link, so you can click there and see which files have been made available to you. So remember that too. All right. So going back here, I just share that file that I created with Word on the web. So I'm going to close here. All right. And I believe I don't need this window either. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my OneDrive. Now, before I show you how to share files right here from OneDrive, I'm gonna go back to Excel desktop version, because remember the playing with numbers file that I created. So let me open that file and show you the process of sharing if you're using the desktop version of Office, which is very similar, right? But you have to, well, I guess you just have to remember where the share option is. Okay, so share option is going to be all the way up to your right. Okay, and because for the video, sometimes I see that my name covers up this section over here. So let me restore Excel and then again show you where the share location is. So I'm going to go back to share. All right. And very similar process as you saw on the online version. So all you need to do is just type in the account you're going to share this file with, and then decide what type of permission you want to give. So let me go with edit this time, and let me send it. And then again, Win19 is going to receive an email, and they're gonna get the link to work on the file. As a matter of fact, I have that computer right here next to me. So let me go. Let me just go on Win19, and I just received the email over here saying Tirado Rafael has shared a file with you, and there is a link there that I'm going to click on, and you're going to see that once I open the file going as Win19, you notice right here on my computer, I can see that Win19 is right now on cell A1. If Win19 comes to, let's say, cell I2, where there is a number right there, I'm gonna overwrite this with a 5,000. Oops, not on this computer, on this one here. I got too many keyboards in front of me. So let me go to the other computer and type in 5,000. I'm going to hit the enter key. You can also see right here the indication that Win19 is changing that file. Okay. So once I hit enter on the other computer, then you're going to see the number changing in there. All right. So let me go back to it's taking a little bit of time here to do it. All right, but that is the process of sharing and now collaborating with users in Excel. Okay, took a little bit to update over here because I was locked right there on cell A1. Okay, but let me go and do it again in another cell. I'm going to type now 6,000, and this time it goes much faster. All right, so that's the once again, that's the process of sharing a file within OneDrive. Okay, and you also saw over there the process of collaborating. Right now, if I want to share a file right from the interface, I'm not gonna do it from the application. In other words, the document is not open. I'm gonna close these documents over here, and I'm gonna go back to my files. Okay, and now I'm gonna get back to the OneDrive class, and I'm gonna pick this. I'm gonna pick a different file. So let me go over to working with arrays. Okay, and then, or rather a folder, and Nancy was asking for a folder. So let me go over and select this folder. And to share a folder or a file, you have the icon right there. Okay, so that's the only icon that's done there by itself. Although you can click on the more options over here, and then you also have the share option right there. Okay, so you can do either way. But once you click share, okay, again, as before, just need to type in the account that you're going to be sharing the file with, and then select the type of permission that you're gonna give. Okay. Again, this is folders. This is no file. Okay. So you don't see the suggestion there. You only see the edit or view. So depending on the option you wanna give the users, let me just go with view and then send the email if you want to, and then you are sharing the content of the entire folder. Okay, so once again, be careful with the type of permissions you give there, because you're giving access to everything within that folder and subfolders. Okay, that's what you need to do. Then that's fine. But once again, if you just need to do a single file, you can also go and then just let me go to another folder now. We go to the Excel VBA, and let's just pick one file. You can also do control over here and pick more than one. All right, and then again, initiate the share option over here. Select the user, select the permission, and then if you want, send the email. All right, and once you are done sharing or you want to stop the sharing process. Okay, so just need to go back and look at the permissions on the folder, right? So if the folder is already shared with a person, then you can stop you can stop sharing right there. Okay. So that is the, so once again, that's the process of uploading, sharing folders, sharing files. There was one thing that I noticed when I opened the Excel file that I usually mention, and I forgot to do it today. When I opened the file on the desktop, right? There is an option over here to automatically save your file. So as you make changes to this file, if you want those files to be automatically saved, this option over here is turned on by default. Okay, meaning if I type something new over here, let me just, let's say that this indicates sales for January, February, and so on, then as I'm typing this data over here, right, Excel is going to automatically save my changes, okay, as long as the autosave is on. So that's why when I close this file over here, you may not see those prompts asking if you want to save the changes. So that may be something you like, or maybe not, because in case that you mess something up over here, you want to close the file without saving the changes, then Excel already saved the file. So if you don't want that, you can turn it off. Okay. But once again, having it on give you the advantage of Excel saving your files automatically. If it is the case that something got saved you didn't mean to, and now you want to go back to a previous stage, you can navigate the file menu, and right here on the info section, then you're going to have the version history. So what Excel is going to do is every time that changes are made to the document, then Excel is going to save those, it's going to save the changes to the file, and then you can go to a previous version of that file if you need to. I have a question in the chat. What is the storage size of the current OneDrive for us in transit? I was told that we have 1 terabyte. Okay. Yep. So that's I think I'm approaching that size with all the stuff that I put there. But yeah, I think we're limited to 1 terabyte. Any other questions in the chat? Hey, look, we have 2 minutes left, so good timing. Let me just go back to my PowerPoint presentation and make sure that I covered all these topics. Yes, we did. All right. So let me share with you a little bit more. I have some additional resources that I'm going to make available to you. I'm gonna send you a follow-up email. Also, I'm going to upload the recording of today's workshop. It's going to be placed at MTA, at our transit or MTA University site. So just the same site that you went to register for the class. Okay, you're gonna go back there, and then on the training library, then probably by the end of the week, you're gonna see an entry over here with this class. You're gonna click on the name of the class, and then you're gonna be able to watch the video. Okay, so again, going back to my PowerPoint presentation, if you have any additional need for computer classes, you can always contact my boss, Lisa Vernon, Ariel Center. They will get back to you. And let's go to the feedback survey. So I would really appreciate if you can give us, your feedback from the class. You can point to the QR code with your cell phone. That's gonna be it for today. So I'll thank you for attending our class, and I hope to see you in another training, in another workshop, or maybe in person at 130 Livingston. All right. Enjoy the rest of the day.